Hello and welcome to the latest episode of DCP Plus SideQuest.
Oh,
Man,
How's everybody
I was
doing?
gone
great
for
recovery.
1 week.
recovery.
It's even an even number.
Oh, like that makes a difference.
I mean, I'm pretending as if like you would maybe remember whatever. It's 400. It's 450. It's 450.
No, it's 450.
I was gone last week, so as long as the Game Awards count, still.
Oh, I don't think it does. I don't think that's an
It
official.
definitely
episode.
does. We've already messed it up with 420.3 or whatever at this point. So
We did make
You
that
know?
one. We drawed that one out a little bit. That was fun,
yeah.
guys. I may be a little loopy. I had 2 surgeries this week,
Oh,
so I'm a little bit
Wow.
on the drugs. Which
I was
is
gonna
fun,
say you
honestly.
get something good.
okay.
Yeah, got a little fun stuff. You know, like they hook you up.
Fun stuff.
They
But
hook you up.
Brian, I think you're the kind of personality that, like, if you're on drugs, maybe you just seem normal. Do you know what I mean? That might
Right.
be like you might come the other way.
Was that an insult? I'm
Maybe.
not sure how to take that.
No, it's not intended as an insult.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm not gonna
It's a
take it as one
backhanded
then.
insult
It's
or compliment.
Backhanded compliment.
Maybe it was a backhanded insult.
Backhanded
Actually, that was
insult.
Freudian. That was a Freudian
Yeah.
slip.
wow.
So you really messed him up, Milo. Jeez.
Well, see, I mean, oh, look, you're a bit sensitive on the drugs, Brian. You normally wouldn't get
Right.
so offended by jokes.
You gonna cry? You gonna cry? It's not your
I
fault.
didn't
dude.
realize drugs made you a
I'm going home.
snowflake.
I'm taking my podcast and I'm going home. Exciting
Well,
week this week. Last week we watched the Game Awards. That was great fun. I always enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
that was
Um,
good.
Sorry I couldn't watch it with you.
We were on Fran Watch once
What are you
again.
doing?
No sightings once again.
Socializing,
Fran, I was not in the seats, to be clear. So until they get a camera at the local, hotel lounge where everybody gathers.
I'm sure there was somebody
you-
streaming.
Hanging
from
out
there.
in the
You-
hotel lounge, partying,
Yeah,
Well, you
that was
touched
actually
it.
touching people, probably.
to be touching people. To be clear, actually, I watched most of it as much as I could in. It was basically the hotel, but it's like a little condo thing that I share with actually CJ, the video guy, if you remember. So I watched most of it there, which was nice, but then met up with some friends, and then it was like they were like, "Let's get over there and get some seats," and I was like, "Oh, fine." So then I'm like walking from there to LA, like trying not to get hit by traffic. Mega Man's coming
Wait,
out.
you
I'm
can
like,
just purchase seats on the night?
No, sorry. Well, they usually sell out, but you could if they didn't sell out. But no, I was saying at the hotel lounge where everybody goes, it's like go get seats. In
Wait,
the
you have to
mid-
purchase
like towards
seats for the hotel lounge.
No, you have to be able to sit down because there's
Fran,
limited.
I wish I lived closer to you because I need a friend like you that can just organize this kind of stuff because I don't do it, and that way I can pretend like I have some sort of social life, and you can
That
just
is a
no,
valuable
take me
friend to
out,
have.
take me to places. I can
Yeah.
just get drunk.
I don't have a social life, so it's not quite
Oh.
that. I do only when that's why I
Sounds
leave you
like it.
sometimes. I'm like, I better some semblance. But no, actually, no, I mean, I can tell you, Morla actually came out because she lives down there, Eris. So that was one of the people I was hanging out with. That was like, let's get over there early. CJ, the video guy, and that. But then just to cap this off, I don't know how interesting it is to everybody. So the awards, I actually will say the production's gotten so good, and we could talk about that or not later.
I would agree.
But I didn't like sitting in the seats. It's been several years now because like it's hard to get a good seat. They're very expensive, and really, unless you get VIP seats, which is a lot of like the development companies and winners, like it's okay. But they have the big
How much
screens up.
does a
so
seat cost you?
I think it'll
standard
start
seat?
off around 80, and the seats are like okay. But then like if you're not in soon enough, they'll like get up towards like hundreds of dollars just to get in.
Plus,
Yeah,
at a
I don't think I'd
concert.
want to sit there. I'd like to see
Exactly.
you sitting there so I could look for you in the
The
crowd.
Fran watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fran watches would be fun.
Yeah. But anyway, so what happens is, and people even leave the awards early because there's nearby hotel lounges, but all the industry and people have been doing it for decades. Even it's kind of like a leftover part of E3 as well, where people don't get to see each other that often, and so it becomes like this huge, like it's basically like a class reunion every year. It's wild.
Okay.
So it is very cool. But then, even the developers will go there after. It's usually like a lot of the industry folks. So it's a great place to network, but also you cannot talk. You can't. I mean, but
Mm.
you
You're
lose your.
yelling
It's
the
that.
whole
It's
time.
so
Yeah.
loud. It's a hotel bar. It's the worst acoustics, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a mess on that front. You'll like see someone, and you're on the way to the bathroom. You're like, oh, I just need go to bed, and then like you take 2 steps. Like if you know a handful of people, let's say, but then you see someone else. You kind of can't even move around. It's so loud. It's so hard to like talk to people because like there's so many people. So it's a nice problem to have though, and I'm lucky that I do know people there. So. Myelin, next time,
Nice.
next year, come on out.
Bring me along. Well,
Bring
yeah,
the
I don't think I'm
kids.
traveling. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Speak of the devil.
That's okay. I went out for the first time in months,
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
and yep. So I left the
You go
8-week-old
party?
baby at home.
Did you go to
with the
Outback
toddler,
Steakhouse?
Oh, just by themselves? Just the toddler and the baby?
but that my wife was there. It wasn't Leo.
Oh,
Look
you didn't
after
go
Jesse.
out with your wife. Went all
No,
alone.
which always, once you've been with someone for a while, you kind of used to having a friend when you go out. I'm like all by
Yeah.
myself on the train, going into the city, and I'm like really bad with directions. Like I always get fucking lost. That's like one of the things that Danny always does. Like she like
Really?
knows the city and where to go, which train station to get off, and I'm like looking at my phone going, I'm gonna get lost.
Wow.
Had some.
Did you
drinks,
get a guilt
caught up
trip
with
for leaving her there?
what at home?
Yeah.
No, I mean I've got many free tickets because
She was glad to see you go.
Staying at home playing video games, yeah, and I got my folks to help out, and I didn't even drink that much. It was great, and then the next
You met up
morning,
with friends, you said?
yeah, that I used to teach at OT with, and got home, went to bed like midnight, whatever. Which usually I'm not even in bed already because I've been staying up to 1 a.m. to help look after Jesse. And then Leo jumps on me like 4:30 in the morning, and I wasn't even really hungover, but I was just like groggy, and I was like, I just don't even know if drinking is worth it. Like I can't even imagine
You always
being actually hungover. Like I was just, yeah, I'll play with you. I lay on the couch. He's like, Dad, why don't you play with me? I was like, Dad, just close your eyes for a second.
Amazing. You're getting the thing is though
I
you
won't be
were
visiting you anytime soon. I don't think anytime soon.
There was a realization that I had early on that I can't really ever be so incapacitated that I can't handle like an emergency situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's for many years, like you always have to have that in the back of your mind. Like, it's good to have fun, but if the shit hits the fan, I need to be able to handle my shit. You know what I mean?
See, I always give my parents shit for that because I remember them being absolutely plastered like every Friday, and going like we still tell us going camping and then being stoned off brownies and being in the middle of the bush and being like the kid like I think I hurt myself and got a big cut and they're like, well, no one can drive. We're just gonna steri strip this and
Yeah.
steri strip.
Yeah.
I think
they're
it's
they're like staples, but not. They're
Yeah.
they're like
Like it's
Band-Aid
Band-Aids,
staples,
it's
you know?
funny because we don't call them that, but I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Where they sort of
yeah,
like
but
thin out in the middle, like fake stitches almost as a band-aid.
they're like
What are those
fake
called?
stitches. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm with you, bro. Like I kind of think about being able to drive someone to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe
Oh, yeah.
if you take turns, but it's not fun to take turns. You want to do that together, like you want to have fun
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Myelin, I think we just call them butterfly band-aids. Very,
Yes, I think you're right. Fran.
Right.
very
Yeah.
exciting.
There you go.
Yeah, it's funny because you have like a couple options in that situation. It's like, yeah, if you have the butterfly band-aids, or there's also like the glue stuff, right?
The glue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
It's just, or
Leo's-
like someone super glues you because it's all they have. You're like, oh my god.
Leo like completely split his eyebrow open running into a pole at the playground, and it would look like a Muay Thai
Yeah.
cut. Looked like he just copped an elbow,
Yeah.
and it was just like open.
Gushing.
And had to have blood and steri strips. And then Danny's like, "Oh, do you want me to buy some online? Like get the glue?" And this is like that parent. I was like, "If it needs glue and steri strips, is that
You
a
gotta bring him to
hospital
hospital.
visit,
Yeah.
or is that a do it ourselves kind of thing?"
I'd say
I'm like, I was like, let me have it. Let me see another one. Like I've seen it once, and I saw how the doctor did it. Let me see it like the next time it happens.
Yeah. I'd say for
And I was-
kids and when you have free healthcare, you should take them. But for adults, like, yeah, I'd be like, whatever. Just see how it goes for a while. Have another drink.
Yeah,
Terrible advice.
True.
By the way, this is a good one. If you've never heard of this, I learned about this at work at IGN because it was in our first aid cabinet. I'd never seen it. This is a long time ago. But I think it's called styptic. Is that what it is?
Styptic pencil,
styptic
yeah.
powder.
Oh, okay.
But powder. It's a anti-clotting, or it's a clotting powder.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, this stuff is wondrous. Like basically, if you get like a reasonable cut, it's this powder that helps it like clot up and stop the bleeding. And it's honestly, it's pretty amazing. I would keep it in your household. Called styptic powder. Maybe over there, it's called Sterrier. I don't know.
Sticky powder, maybe.
Probably called Dicko's powder or something.
Yeah. Dicko's pain flakes. Anyway,
When I was getting stitched up this week, my doctor was telling stories about how all the kids, he doesn't have to go to the hospital because he's a surgeon. You know, when his kids got stitches, he'd do it right at home. And then all his neighbors started bringing their kids over to his house when they got hurt. Even as adults, they were coming over. At some point, he's like, I had to just call it like, hey, guys, go to the hospital.
Yeah. Be like, now you're just circumventing like healthcare. So
yeah, but wouldn't you though? Like if your next door neighbor was a doctor, wouldn't you be like, hey, doc?
Yeah,
Hey, doc.
Well, we had that with the veterinarian, the town veterinarian lived across the street from us, and like I didn't have a lot of
stitch you up, surely.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, I had like birds, and one bird bit the other bird's toe off like in the middle of the night.
What a dick.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So
poor Atticus.
You brought him over to the vet?
He was fine in the end, but he lost the toe.
Was he a finch? Was he a finch?
No, so one was it's called a Hans macaw, so it's a miniature macaw, so it kind of looks like a green parrot. No, yeah, his name was, we named him Hansi, very original. And then poor Atticus, which was my cockatiel. So not a cockatoo, the tinier ones.
Yeah.
So the bigger bird got out and just, went after him in the cage somehow. Or no, maybe it was the opposite, that the small bird got on his cage somehow and like got his toe bitten off. But anyway.
Damn.
We have a blue jay around here with one leg. Somehow the leg got removed, so he has to hop around.
Pirate
Sounds
kitty.
like a cat.
Kitty,
yeah.
Bird.
Oh,
Pirate kitty bird.
Did you say kitty?
I said pirate kitty because I don't know why.
It's funny. I was going to say it was probably a cat, and then I thought you were being very pro cat and being like, it couldn't be a kitty cat. Bella would never do that.
My dog is 12 years old and has not had really any issues. And this week I took him to the vet. They're like, oh, she's going to need dental work. This is infected or something like that. Like, do you need some teeth removed? I'm like, oh, fuck. It's just like, oh, it's going to be $2,000. I was like,
it's a lot because they have to go under anesthesia.
And
depending on how many they take out, it can boost it up. Yeah, it's a
So-
lot. Getting your teeth cleaned at the vet is a whole, it's a surgery.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It actually get expensive toward the end of the life.
And then we don't know whether like we should, because obviously it's going to be like, it's like next week, just before Christmas. And I'm like, and she's an old grumpy dog now, right? I've got lots of kids here. I'm like,
Merry Christmas, we got a new puppy. What happened to the old one?
Oh, no. Chat would have your head if anything happened to Billy.
So,
but we don't know whether we should get it beforehand, like if she'll be like grumpy around kids and stuff like that, if she's on pain meds and in pain and that. And it was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. On that note, Briar, you old dog. So on a scale 1 to 10, how much do you feel it?
What?
Whatever you're on.
Being old?
Whatever you're
Surgeries or
No, whatever you're microdosing right now. Whatever the
I'm pretty okay. I'm thinking about adding some beer to the mix to try and like mix some stuff up a little.
We do not condone or give medical advice. Do not read the labels, chat. Just putting it out there. But Briar's an adult.
They only say not to drink alcohol with prescription because you have too much fun.
Right. That's what it is. Doctors hate fun. It's
probably why. Yeah.
When in reality, doing that is just going to need more doctors. So really, they're just costing themselves money.
I was picturing that on the label of like, the meds where it was like, mixing with alcohol may cause too much fun. like really loudly, like a smile, an emoji. It's like what you get from the doctor now. You're like, well, it's like Arrested Development. The may cause drowsiness. It's like a winky. It's like a sleeping eye, but the joke is she like winks back at it. She's like, totally just takes it anyway.
Nice. Want to talk about some games?
I sure do.
Gamers.
Where do we start?
I want to
So
talk
many new
about.
games.
I forgot the name of it already.
Should we just get the Highguard?
Yeah,
drama out
Highguard.
of the
That's
way?
what I want to hear
Let's do
about.
that.
Totally.
Yeah, let's do that.
Highguard. Okay. Yeah, well, it's fine. So I asked Briar, I was like, oh, I saw you guys reacted to Highguard at the end of it. I didn't get to ask you guys what you thought, but I did watch the reaction and heard a little bit from y'all and a little bit from folks in chat. Highguard being from ex-Respawn folks, some ex-Call of Duty folks who've been kind of working in secret for some 4 or 5 years on Highguard. But anyway, so I got myself into some hot water. And in short,
tweet.
I tweeted out,
Oh,
social
he's
posted.
intimate, guys.
Yeah, so the short story is I social posted, and then it suddenly, it was very inflammatory. But then it turned into a number of YouTube videos that of reasonable size that were like pulling my video up, and then they were coming for me. is
What'd
the
you
short of
say?
it. Like, so look, let me preface this with.
No, I just want to know what you said so I can make a snap judgment like they did.
No, but the important part, is, like literally, if you read it, I say unscripted vent. The thing is, like, people don't know that that's not like a joke. I don't do that because like I'm always like overthinking. Let me write a script, and that's why I never post
Well, I
this stuff.
think this tells you should do more unscripted.
Oh, but
vents,
Myelin,
my
dude, this is we can have a conversation forever about how much like that's the thing. The
You
culture.
You do.
is,
You
like,
gotta let it go, Fran.
Yeah, I
You
know.
need
let
to.
it
You need to
go.
Oh, I
be
did.
able for Myelin should be able to call you and say, "Fran, hop on
did, so-
operators right now." And you go, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Fran, come play Night Rain." You're like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." You gotta be loosey goosey.
Yeah, so I won't bear the lead. But the point, it literally, so I just wanted to set it up. I had gotten home from the Game Awards feeling pretty raw. Yeah, the voice is gone. I actually hadn't caught all the drama. And actually, the first thing I saw the day before I posted this was Paul Tassi, like the golden ratio, 1 to 10, of Concord is where, the YouTube likes and dislikes. They use like a third-party tool to like try to figure out the likes and dislikes because YouTube hides them. But this is the same as like Steam concurrence. Is like we try to like use some metric.
So what was the right ratio?
It was some 1 to 10 ratio, I guess. But again, I don't know if you looked at multiple videos, or I'm sure that it is though. It's completely like disliked overwhelmingly from the people who are pressing those buttons. Highguard, right? So I was just like, dude, I mean, I can tell you what my reaction was, but before that, I was like, what? Why though? Why are people so upset, And I just kind of actually had posted that loosely, like, can someone explain to me? And then I saw there was like, well, people were saying it's like the next Concord and blah, blah. So I looked into it a little bit. And yeah, like, Concord 2.0, bro, trash, So that was a lot of it. And then, it reminded me of last year with the Game Awards, I think was Intergalactic. Is that what ended last year?
Yep.
And so it's like woke trash, right? Like the same, different in this case, but sort of the same like feeling of like hatred seething out there. So, I'm always a defender of like, I don't know what the game's going to be. Like, let's check it out. I could tell you what I think of it, sure. But I prefer a reasonable discussion. So anyway, it set me off, but I was tired. I was so tired, chat. Not of the post, but that also. Literally in real life, my voice is like croaking, I was like, oh my God, I'm so mad. So I posted it, but it was, it's in the face of the drama. I was trying to do the same thing back. So long story short, I'm like, I don't get what this nonsense with Concord is, and everybody's so freaking upset. Can we just like, play the game, hear a bit more about it without like freaking out essentially? But I said in there, I'm like, you got to be pretty dumb to think the gameplay is going to be like Concord. And that line was about the gameplay loop. And I understand what happened. First of all, they didn't want to hear it. But second, it sounded like I was saying you were dumb to look at this trailer and be mad about it and to dislike it. And so everybody felt dismissed. But yeah, in a one take, I literally was walking around my house, like, I'll just post it. Why not? But yeah, now it sounds like I dismissed him, that you're not allowed to look at a trailer and hate it. Like, I don't care about any of that. To end this thought and see what you guys think, I am so tired of reducing a game to another game that, like, games are just not the same. It's like, you know, if you think a game that looks kind of like Elden Ring, even remotely, right? You start calling it Souls-like. You're like, this is a Souls trash ripoff, without ever like really knowing what it feels like and plays like. And that's maybe not the best example, but I'm just like, I played Concord and looked at this, and these are the people that design systems in Apex, art in Apex, all this. And we can talk about the style, but I'm like, it's not gonna like play like you run around in an arena, shoot health bars, and swap your characters in and out. I'm pretty confident it's not gonna be that. In fact, the Steam page has a little info on Highguard. So yeah, I'm upset at the reductive conversation. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Sorry, I ended on, I listened to what you guys said, and that is like the kind of reaction that I'd expect. Watts is like, I don't know. And then she's like, but I don't know. I mean, Apex normally feels good, but like, I don't know. And then my one's like, I don't like the style, man. And Briar, I forget what you said, but all of that, I'm like, yeah. My reaction was like, my biggest reaction was less on that. And it was like, why don't you just tell me what the game is? Because like, why are you hiding this? And I have some thoughts on that, but what did you guys
like looking at it again, and look, I understand the Concord comparison, and I don't think it's like, a 1-for-1 gameplay. I think it's people thinking it's going to fail, and in general, their gut reaction being they don't like it. Because I just looked at it, I was like, I don't know. This is not, I'm not vibing with this, right? Like, I don't really like the aesthetic of it. Games kind of need to grab you and like visually and like kind of want you to get into that world. And it feels like I've seen this stuff before, and it's just kind of been mashed together. And I think a lot of people had that feeling with Concord too, like didn't quite like the style, the design of the characters and the environment and stuff. I mean, I picked up a lot more Valorant than like the abilities look so similar to Valorant than they do to Concord, right? And I don't play Valorant, so I'm not a huge target audience there either. And I think the last thing is people come with a preconception after hearing it's like X, they did Titanfall, right? So it's like people almost put this image in their head of what the game should be because of what the developers have previously made, and then when it's not that, then there's disappointment with it too. So I get why, but I agree with you. We shouldn't judge games. Like, I'm going to play it. I'm going to see if it's good, because it could be tremendously wrong and I could love it, but the trailer didn't really grab me. And I think it comes from like just a general vision point of view. Like, I look at it, I'm like, it's not appealing to me, and maybe I just need to know more about the game. Maybe it's the visuals, maybe it's just hero shooter stuff.
That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
and I don't think you're dumb for thinking that. That's the difference. And
I
not just because you're
even-handed.
I've got a bone to pick with you, okay?
Fran's been in a lot of videos.
It's been a handful.
Really?
I think there's going to be more, probably.
Like Luke Stevens, he was in Luke Stevens' video, Legendary Drop.
Someone named Hypnotic I saw, and there's probably more. Let me know if you see him.
There's a lot of people who are like, this ex-IGN guy of 18 years, this game's journo dumbass.
Yeah. So I mean,
IGN.
And there's some.
That's how I got
him
in my phone. Games journo dumbass.
Yeah, Garbo. Toxic positivity, the shill journalist. But the irony, of course, is like, what would I expect from people who just want to judge a book by its cover and be very upset about it? And again, like, I don't even met that part. I do actually, that's not fair. I care about that part, but that was the subtext. It was mostly the gameplay loop. And I just like reducing it to saying it's Concord is so like disingenuous, but we also don't know. Maybe it is, but I highly doubt it.
I think a lot of the Concord was, just to touch on that real quick, I think a lot of the Concord stuff is like, this is another hero shooter that visually looks pretty generic.
Yeah.
and who thinks we want this, especially at the end of the Game Awards. And then there's this
Totally.
whole thing of like, they probably paid billions of dollars to be the final trailer.
That's another thing.
And yeah, so,
Why do you
and
think
people
they
just
were at
love
the
to
end,
dunk
Watts?
on things. I can't say because I know.
You think it was because of money?
I know it wasn't because of money.
Okay.
I'll tell you guys offline, but it
Okay.
wasn't because of money that they were the final trailer of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, I should tell you, I don't know, but I've had strong opinions. Like, I mean, it's nuanced in the sense that Jeff has definitely crossed, Jeff Keighley has crossed with the Game Awards into advertorial, but trying to say, I don't know what he does when it comes to, I know there's pitch decks and money exchanged to be in the Game Awards, but I don't know where that line is
Right.
drawn and not, right? Like some people, I'm pretty confident the fees are either nothing or I can't imagine it's much when like you're a really big company and you're like, yo, you want this trailer or not? You know? But
I
that
know the
being
Phantom
said,
Blade Zero devs, they said that they just gave Jeff the trailer. They didn't mention any money, but they said they gave Jeff the trailer
Yeah.
and he picked where it went. They had no idea
Right.
where it was going to go.
And
So,
that's what I'm getting at is I do believe there is, I'm fairly confident because I think I've actually seen years ago, there's PowerPoints with like, you know, these are sort of how it's structured to be in it, but it's not where you're placed exactly. They may even have front half, back half, et cetera. So I don't know. I'm pretty confident that type of stuff happens, but I don't know what happens across the board. Regardless, my only thing that I said on it was like, look, as much as Jeff's making money, you now all know even more than ever. He lost his father this year, who was like huge at IMAX. I'm pretty sure Jeff has had a lot of money all his life. And he really is like, he's been trying to produce this best quality show to reach the most people and this big night. It truly is his priority. And so I've known Jeff for decades. And it would shock me if like, he got to the point where he's like, I'm selling the very last slot. And I know, right? That's like, well, that's because you're a Garbo shill journalist. You would think that. And to be fair, I know Jeff. But it's hard. Jeff's not going to sell that last spot because like it's so important. So that being said, if that is true, how did you go? Jeff went to see it, right? He saw the game. He knows more than we do.
he said he
How
played
did you
it,
end up putting this there? And I don't want to go off yet, but I have some thoughts on why it ended up at the end and what went wrong with the trailer, but
Couldn't it just be that Jeff liked the game?
yeah.
I mean, if he's the one
maybe not in touch
curating
with
the placement of the show, right? I think
Which we don't even
where
know that's
anyone
true.
is in it,
yeah. No, Jeff definitely he's got to be the ultimate decider. But he's got a team, right? I don't know who his executive producer is, but when people are working that hard, you sit down, and it might even been Jeff was like, I went and saw this. They're gonna send through the trailer. Like, this is what I want at the end. But also part of what happens in these shows is that I doubt, say, Tomb Raider was planned, you know, or but let's say that it was, but then it leaks, and it's like, you know what? We're not gonna put that at the end anymore. We got to move it. Stuff like that starts to happen. So it's nuanced. But my point is, like, it is very unlikely that for the final slot, Jeff took money. So I want to be clear, because this is where people come after me now. I'm not saying that company didn't pay money to be in, for all I know, the latter third of the show. I don't know how they do that anymore and how many dinners Jeff was taken out to. We also don't know who Jeff is friends with there. I want to discuss.
Right.
I'm friends with somebody there, not good enough to have him in my phone, but I met the team as well at the Game Awards. Some of those folks were walking around with their T-shirts on, and like I barely know them, but I've been doing that my whole life as well. Where like you know, like, I've gone to events and met people like very chummy, and then like I give their game like a 6, and it's like they know that's the deal, and I'm used to it. But full disclosure, bias could have been part of why he might be very good friends with these folks. But maybe just to skip to what I was getting at, which is like, I think one, I wonder what happened, but I think Jeff maybe was a little out of touch with this one and like the hero shooter problem. And like, these are ex-Respawn guys. And I think that same problem, like there's some very big people on this, at this company, the amount of clout and ego really, and that it carries a lot, right? Like when you know They made, like one of the lead designers has like some of the most iconic moments in Modern Warfare. They also have some lead designers, art directors from like Apex. Previous head of like Apex works at this studio. So like with all of that and Jeff knowing them, like you put a little bit of credibility in that. So I think one, that carried a lot of weight and probably influenced his decision versus what the trailer looked like. Now, two, if you watch the trailer, I think very clearly they were riding so high on what I just said there, the amount of talent, which we've seen Bungie and others kind of run into. You just think like, we told you that it's from the makers of Titanfall and Apex or a new studio, but they thought that that was enough because it's like they thought they were Blizzard announcing the next game. And that I think is part of how they ran into this. They thought they could get away with like, see you in 6 weeks. And boy, did it blow up in their face because of the style and the genre, and it's free to play. You guys know I talk about that a lot, which is also ironic that people are hating on me when all I do is complain about free to play grindy games. So that's what I think happened.
How terrified are you as a studio right now seeing this reaction?
Oh yeah.
Well, you got to think about Marathon and be like, man, Marathon did an alpha and they delayed it, like. And if Marathon launches in a, I think it is going to launch in a much better position than what it would have, 100%. Like, that's got to be in the back of some developers' minds. Like, do we need to do a play test and just make sure we're on the money here, like, and test feedback in case?
Yeah.
Because like, would have Bungie just dissolved if Marathon launched in September when it was meant to launch and it failed miserably? Like.
I think to be fair,
they can run play tests and see the response. And if the trailer didn't get a good response, then maybe they do need to run a play test. And
I think they're probably, I think they're probably pretty confident in the game that they have. It sounded like, so I saw some stuff on Twitter, and someone that I follow that I got to know through going to like play FPS games by companies, right? This is how I know this person. And they put on Twitter right before the Game Awards happened, they were like, I'm really surprised that game hasn't leaked. Great job, press and content creators. And I'm pretty sure they've had quite a few people playing it.
That's a good point. So you think content creators have?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I definitely think
that's a good point. I want to go look. Have some people been eerily quiet? Would be chat.
Just like
do
not,
research
not
real.
commenting on Highguard.
Go look and see if anybody's avoiding it, because that would be interesting. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe. So I think they're pretty confident, and I think also based on, because I've watched the trailer like 10 times, I wanted to watch it separated from this like final big announcement that Jeff has been hyping it up for.
It was not a good ending.
I wanted to watch it separate from that, and I think that the game is probably going to feel really good. I think the movement's probably going to feel really good because of who is making the game. And they are doing something interesting with like, it seems like there's these mini objectives throughout the map, and then you're like pushing into the enemy's base at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm also thinking that they might be thinking, wow, this really sucks. But also that trailer doesn't do a very good job of actually showing what our game is. So maybe we like put out another video and see what people think at that point and then panic. But
yeah, they only have themselves to blame. They, like I said, they clearly thought they could, speculate, but thought they could just put it out. People would be excited to check it out in like 6-7 weeks. And you don't know exactly what it is from the makers of Apex and Titanfall and like new studio. And yeah, all they provide on the page, which I should have brought up, but all we know that people are extracting what it is the description that says you battle rival warden crews for possession of a shield breaker, which I think could be that sword you see in the trailer. Like somebody like
that big lion tank.
Maybe that's you're right.
That breaks the base shield.
Yeah. Wonder what the sword is then. Either way, it's Thundercats.
You needed the sword. I think the sword summoned the tank. I think there's like a mini.
There's
like that could be like
objectives
to activate the tank, maybe.
Yeah. Mini objective to get the tank, and then you probably got to defend the tank, push it to the base.
Yeah,
breaks the base.
And then they say, so you get possession as a warden crew of the shield breaker. You break into and destroy the enemy base to secure territory. in this all new breed of shooter. And those are the all new breed really pissed people off. The fact that
it's
it
a
had
hero shooter.
broccoli haired, brown and blue fantasy characters.
I do not like the way the characters look.
The icy dude was the biggest mistake, is what I would say. I was like, I know that overall people don't like the look. I just see a lot of like Apex with high fantasy inspiration, and it's not the same studio, obviously, but it is. I think it's the same art director. But that icy dude that slams the ground like me too, and I'm like, ew, that's not a good one to put in there.
This is the downfall of hero shooters. The positive is that it's definitely a lot easier to balance over people making their own thing. But the downside is if you do not have characters that lots of people out there go, ooh, I want to be the main of that, then you're kind of screwed when it comes to hero shooters.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's a very strong point.
Like Marvel Rivals versus Concord. It's like, I didn't think Concord was so bad that it died in a week. And I thought Marvel Rivals was okay, and it's banging along great. It's like, people have to connect with the characters in a really good way.
Yeah.
I guess
the art for Marvel Rivals made me want to play Marvel Rivals because the way that the iterations of those characters that they've done, like cool. The style is just cool, man.
Yeah, and
it's just
so fun. Yeah, it's so funny because I'm reflecting on my comments on Marvel Rivals. I'm like, honestly, the game's fine, but like, I got into arguments. I think maybe with even some of you. I'm like, they completely ripped off like Overwatch stuff, and I guess everybody's okay to just slap Marvel and kind of do that. Which again, that's a longer, different conversation. But people, there's a lot of games that are like other games, and like I do get that. But for me, that one stunk of like, good lord. But I
think this like fantasy with an AK-74 is hard to pull off. I don't know, man. Like,
you know what I called it too, Myelin? I called it shiny fantasy. Do you guys remember Immortals of Avium?
Yeah,
that was like this fantasy sci-fi shiny
totally
thing.
Thought of that.
I don't like that style.
Nobody does apparently. So where's their market research? But I was gonna on the point you made. This is what actually is also really interesting and. You guys know as well. I'm so gameplay focused, and Watts, you mentioned the gun feel. I'm like, you're speaking my language. I'm looking at the gun and just the knowing that it's just Apex guns. By the way, that's what I see.
Look like Apex guns.
Like I swear I saw an R99 in there, or like the 301 or whatever the names were. But that like the reticle style, I just saw Apex gun feel. So I was like, okay, check. Horses. High fantasy with like Thundercats, like I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, okay. So that was kind of my reaction, but I was mostly mad that it was so mysterious and like at the end of the show, and then I'm like, all right, well let's check it out, and then I find out that it's like, bro, it's Concord 2.0. Concord is back, it's I'm like, man, it's too bad it's being reduced to that, and that's what bothered me. So I don't know if it will be any good. I have no idea, and everybody thinks that I'm like rooting for it. I'm like, I have never once rooted for this thing, and we could do a montage of Fran saying you hate free stuff.
If these game modes are truly unique and they're fun to play each time, and there's good balance with push and pull, and you almost got the point, and then they push back, and you push back again, and you almost win, and then they almost win, like I can see there could be a lot lot of fun there. And
it's funny when you say that it does sound like it's been done a lot before, right? I mean,
it sure does.
Yeah, but did anyone play Paladins? I never had the chance.
Wasn't that a
I know what it is, but I've never really played it.
I don't think I played that.
Yeah,
Wasn't that
me neither.
Battle Royale.
It's pretty old, but I believe it was. It's a hero. I think I actually don't want to misspeak on it, but I'd seen footage of it. It doesn't look too far off like a busy hero shooter with maybe some MOBA-esque, elements or whatever, But like even looking at that, I'm like, it's so many years have passed, and it's not just going to be that gameplay loop. And that's the biggest thing I defend. I'm like, it was honestly the same with Marathon, and you guys heard me till I was blue in the face on that. That I have all sorts of complaints about my time in the alpha way back. We talked about the looks, but they got 6 extra months, and now all of a sudden, well, actually, I was thinking this before. I'm like, boy, does this reveal make Marathon look real unique and good.
We should talk about Marathon actually. Put it on the list.
And then secondly, I was like, well, let's just wait till we know more. I'm like, these can't be all the mods, and let's see more maps, right? Let's see more guns, and this is a closed alpha test. So I was like, I never was rooting for it, but that's what I fight for. Is in other words, like, it's because of my background. I'm like, are they ever going to read my hands-on? That's where I came from, right? Like, are you going to read my hands-on impressions preview or not? You're just going to read the score at the end of the review and like move on. I like the depth of discussion, and that's asking a lot, I know, but
Fran,
that's my hope.
I'm sorry to like derail a
No,
little
I
bit,
mean-
but I wondered why you think this lets Marathon off the hook a little bit, because to me, part of the problem is that this is just adding to that pile that Marathon is in.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good question. I don't think it lets it off the hook, so to speak, or anything. Like, they did not communicate well what this game was, Marathon was supposed to be. And then like when they showed us, it was very like thin, like I was getting it. You're like, well, I see an idea, but this doesn't feel finished at all. You guys are basically, you just discovered you're in a huge rush, being pressured to get this game out. I mean, that seems obvious now. But so what I meant by that is, and Briar, I think you said this, you haven't seen the new video documentary, right?
No.
So yeah, maybe, we should
Oh,
move
you need
in
to
it.
watch that for sure.
Do I?
Wow, did they improve stuff?
You really
And
do. Yeah.
boy, some stuff looks
really
just visually. Here's what you can say. Before, where you're like, Bungie, like, I thought you usually cook, and then you had the arts scandal,
Yeah.
and then you see this, you're like, oh, this is looking like
Honestly,
the lighting,
it's classical Bungie, like back against the wall, and they pull the rabbit out of the hat. It is like,
wow,
how did they do that in
I can't wait to see this trailer.
months?
Yeah. To me, and I'd point out, they basically, we're seeing a year's difference though, almost. Because when we saw the alpha, maybe it's more like 9 months, but that was like 3 or 4 months behind. And, so it's been almost a year of development time versus what we played.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to talk about Marathon, or we finished with Highguard?
I don't know. Like,
Highguard, I would say that could be cool, could be fun, probably going to feel good in movement and shooting. I don't dig the characters. I didn't see anything that I was like, I really want to be that character. And I don't super love, the style of it. But it's coming out January 26th. I have 3 days to give it a shot. So I will give it a shot for 3 days.
Which game is that before? Neo?
Neo 3 drops. Well, the demo drops 3 days out.
That's right. It's February, middle of February it comes out or something? Or is it
February
March?
6th is the official release. January 29th is the demo where your progress carries over. So you're basically starting the game then.
Yeah. But yeah, on Highguard, that's what I'll be very curious. Are they hold the line? But I was going to mention with Apex, I don't know if they did the same thing, but they had like teams across the U.S. I knew for sure in Louisiana they had like 100 people that would come in daily and play this thing. That's how they did what they did with Apex. Very different time back then, but somehow they kept it a secret, pulled it off. So meaning they, unlike Marathon, I'm guessing, because this is a free to play, like in the model of Apex in that sense, this sudden launch. So it's very likely they've tested it a ton. I can't imagine they would do this if those people weren't having fun. That doesn't mean that the game's going to be fun and I want to play it, but there must be something there for this kind of ego, really, to drop it like that. So I think they're probably going to hold the line, because at this point they would have to delay it per what you were getting at. And I think that is a potential if they're like, you know what? We don't want to launch in this target. Let's pull the Marathon and push it out and like change a few things to make them happy. But I don't know if they would do that at this point.
To me, it's a real risk for them. I mean, if you don't capture people's imagination with like your artwork, like, so many, like you guys were saying before, so many of these are just like, oh, I want to be in that world, and like there's so many choices for this game type that like I'm just going to stick to the one where I like the characters, I like the world, and if the world isn't connecting, I feel like that was Concord's problem. I mean, I'm sure they had other problems. It was
even worse.
But people just didn't like the look of Concord. Like, it didn't excite people.
No, it's totally that. It's reminiscent, and it's a hero shooter, and everybody feels like people keep trying to do this stuff and grift them for time and money. And, like, the cynicism, again, I totally understand that. And that's where my conversation goes off the rails with folks. I'm like, I agree with you on all that. I'm like, can we just... Not everybody just joke that it's just a Concord 2, because like, can we talk about the gameplay?
Fran, you hate like non-nuanced conversations. And you know what I mean though? Is like you do. Like you never want to have like a hot take.
Yeah.
as long
Like
as
I did.
I've known you, and then like you finally put one out there.
I did. I know. I put a mirror back up to like,
Yeah.
you want to be dramatic. And that was the whole thing of it. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to get picked up. But I really was trying to hold a mirror back to the hate. And of course,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's dumb for,
Boy.
that's the irony.
I
I
do.
responded to
I'll put
a
that.
lot of,
I'll put my hand
You'll
up
do
on
it.
that one. I got
Next
some
time I
YouTube
do
videos
one-
to watch though. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Oh, man.
Don't forget, when we name this podcast,
Yeah, you should put Highguard.
IGN Fran
Yeah.
reacts
Highguard.
to
Oh,
his controversial Highguard
yeah.
take. Yep.
IGN. What was his name? IGN bogus.
I would
Fran?
do... I would do something like Highguard and the IGN drama or something. I don't know. But that was one thing. But it was fun.
I'm already named.
No, I mean, I actually I didn't say this, but I would also say, like, honestly, I'm always falling on these knives, and I'm not always right or anything, right? I mean, I know I like to sound that way. I definitely like that's part of the problem is the way I think I talk about, so I can sound kind of pretentious. I swear, I'm not. I swear, but it can sound that way. But like this made it really bad. You know, they're like, oh, of course he worked at IGN. And he's like, I'm dumb. You're dumb if you think this game's going to succeed, you know? And I'm like, I'm not saying it is, you know, like, I just want to talk about, I want to
It'd be so sweet, Fran, if the like objective gameplay is really good and it takes off and you can go, I told you.
Told you to
It's
wait.
not looking good.
I told you were
agree with
dumb.
them.
Dumb dummies.
I had a number of folks respond, almost a little bit ageism of, they're like, well, our demographic has pattern recognition, so we don't need to see more. I got several comments like that, and I was like, is this like a bot response, or is this like a whole,
Fran,
like...
you should say, I'm 55 years old, brother. I've been playing
Yeah.
games longer than you, okay?
Yeah.
But
Talking about pattern
they're
recognition.
saying you're washed. You can't look at a trailer and figure out that it's dirt.
You got
And
okay
I'm
boomer.
just like, dude, that's not what I'm
Someone
saying.
ask a bot to pretend to be human, then the bot's like, I have
Definitely.
pattern recognition.
No, they literally look it up. I think it's something that these folks talk about. It's like we have, you know, Gen Zers, they have a couple things where it's like, well, we do things differently, you know, and we say that about Gen X or millennials or whatever. But I think it's a thing. The pattern recognition is this high skill, so they don't need to watch a movie or read a book to know that they like it. They just look at it.
They don't need nuance.
I get it.
They just live on hot takes and reading the headlines.
Yeah, it's all gas.
That's true.
It's all gas. For what it's worth, like I do think you can look at the trailer and you get a pretty good sense of where it's headed, but we don't know the gameplay loop, and I'm gonna always fight for that. Hands on, but show me more as well. Like, so we'll see.
Do you want to touch a bit on marathons?
I do.
Marathon.
1000%.
Yeah.
So I watched the Vidoc. Only Briar hasn't seen it, right? We've all
Correct. It's like 22-minute Vidoc. I've also watched about 5 people watch it. So
Yeah, Briar, look at the graphics. Pull it up for yourself.
I'm bringing it up.
Good.
I actually didn't make notes on it, so I'm going from memory here. So if you do have notes on all the things that
I have their
kind of
summary on
added,
there.
there are a couple of things that people were like thought were good ideas. Like they have added the solo queue, which I think we're already talking about, and proximity chat, and there was a cool thing they added with like body decomposing now, which is like actually really makes sense concept wise for extraction.
it's really
shooters
cool. I really like that.
Can I ask about
no other game really does it. Like usually in extraction shooters, you go into a room and you see lots of bodies. Like there's been a murder. Is the murderer still here?
Well, it's like
you know,
it's server load, I think, and I wanted to ask about it though, because in there you do still see some body bags lying on the ground. So how long do you think that the corpses decay for? Do you feel like they sold you that they were always going to be there? Because I did, and then somebody's like, "Look right here, you can see like the body bags," and I was like, "Oh."
Well, no, hold on. You talking about the loot, or you talking about the body itself?
So in the alpha, when you killed someone, I think they very quickly
just the bag,
just disappeared, and
It
it's
was
like
just
the
a
red
box,
bag,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And that's still in this video doc. You still
No,
see
so I
that.
think the actual body just like melts down
No, I
to
know.
like a pile of goop, and the bag will be there still, but the body, the physical body won't be.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
so
the goop
after the
anymore either.
body has become goop, because they specifically said like it's just like a pile of goop or whatever they said. I think that when it does go from body to goop, I think that's when the bag is there, because like the physical bag is
Eventually,
like,
it turns into the bag.
I think so, and then the
And
goop
that-
will still be on the floor, kind of like around.
But that's my point. Is like, sorry, I don't mean to detract from it. One, I think that was cool. That's my point. That really sold me. I'm like, basically what they said is you can tell if it's a fresh kill. You can tell if they've been like recently looted. That's a cool like little detail, and their visual style looked cool in the video doc. But then it does decay enough into a bag. So I was like, how long do you think they should kind of sit around? I wish it was the whole time, of course, but I think that's a technical limitation. So I'm like, I hope they didn't like mislead us that it's like for like 5 minutes. You know?
Well, no. What they kind of said is the function of it is if you see something decayed, it means it's been long enough that whoever shot them's moved off.
Yeah.
Like it's meant to be a visual clue to how recent combat was. So I imagine it's not like more than 5 minutes.
Oh, see, and that's where I was a little confused. Like, it sounded like to me like it's a fresh body. You can tell it's not been touched. And then, like, if it's recently been looted, it's like starting to decay. So you can kind of get a sense. So that's where I was like, there's at least 3 stages to this. But either way, anyway, cool mechanic.
Yep.
But I was like, I would love it if it was there the whole time, obviously.
Yep. I think the other thing is probably the visuals as probably what people picked up on the most. It's definitely a little bit more darker, gritty sci-fi rather than what it was before. Like, it's still very bright, of course, but like especially outside environments look a lot better than the alpha, which was one of the main points of feedback.
Massively
But it also,
improved.
it just, I don't know how else you say, apart from like gritty and darker and kind of a bit more grim with that still like vibrant color palette. So I like that because I think there were definitely, especially when you put it with the soundtrack, there was some really great like immersive dark sci-fi feelings going on. But then you like go outside and the foliage looks dog shit. There's like other like super bright, colorful like fluoro palettes, and it's like but some areas were really immersive, even in the alpha, and it feels like they've kind of doubled down on those feelings more.
Yeah, to me, like, what, you know, whether or not they were going this direction or not, I'm sure the art direction, you know, problem, or the art thievery, you know, that happened broke everything, you know, open. But in other words, I was gonna say, one, I think, you know, we were just seeing a game from like a year ago that was unfinished, and so if you didn't see it, basically, yeah, you'd be walking through a green hallway with like stripes of black caution tape, and like that was the most of it. There wasn't nuance, and then now there's like all these little scribbles and dirt textures, smears, and little details of decals, and but it's like grittier, I think, is a good description. But then like the lighting engine has definitely been changed and implemented, that you're like, it has like a fog of an atmosphere that was completely missing.
Yeah,
and that's a huge change
for sure.
It looks a lot better. Yeah.
What I'd recommend, if you have it, like, watch the video doc and jump to around 11 minutes when they show the first new map we've seen, Outpost, and there's these like ash from a volcano, or burning building, you know, falling like snowflakes and like simmering and breaking up on the ground. Like, it's got like that much detail now, so it's nice to see, at least in trailer form here, or video doc form.
Yeah, I really liked it's not just like, oh, they made the outside areas look better, which was a point of feedback from the alpha. It's like the inside looks better, the outside looks better, the weather effects look a lot better. The animation work has also looked like it's had a pass too. So it's really, they've hit on everything. And now I would say that what I saw in this Vidoc looks a lot more close to what we saw in the first announcement trailer, and that really cool like mini movie that we saw. It now seems to fit that same vibe. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is a world, like, I'm not into these kind of games, but this is a world that like I want to be in and explore. And yeah, I think the visuals look really, 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 really good. I think they did a good job.
It truly looks, like a more complete, shinier, but in a good way, textured game now. So yeah, it just feels more finished when you're watching it. It's out, the audio stuff they go through, the music. It does feel like the polish that you would expect from Bungie, at least in what they're selling us in this video documentary. And I think that's what's hitting people the most. In addition to what Myelin ran through, which is like, we listened, proc chat, we listened. What was the second thing you mentioned? I forgot. Solo queue. And then we were also didn't mention Rook, which is they made sure they got the scav free run kind of thing going on now, and that wasn't
they've
there.
added that now too. Yep.
So you can kind of like just go in with a small bag and get in, get out.
They've actually applied what Tarkov does, and is also kind of a main complaint in Arc Raiders at the moment, which is if you go on that freebie, you get like late spawns essentially. Pretty sure that was their marathon, which is what
I think they did say
Tarkov does, right? So if you don't invest any money or gear, you don't get the full 30-minute raids or however long it takes to do it. You get put in halfway through, so some of the gear might be gone, everything might be looted. You might just be picking up scraps.
Yeah, but maybe you find a dead body of some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find a dead body that hasn't been looted. You can still get out with some. So like, you're not risking anything, but you're also not getting the greatest opportunity either. Arc Raiders just is completely random. You can get full raids on free kits, and you can get half raids on custom kits when you go in fully geared. So it looks like they've been paying attention, I think, to Arc Raiders. And what people's complaints have been about that game, to get it right.
Yeah, and then they showed, so Outpost was that third map I was talking about. At least I think most of what we saw was at night with the like falling ashes, but then they showed us the marathon, the USEC ship or whatever it is, UESC marathon. Oh, the Cryo Archive, that's what it's called as well. But basically, they're like, this place is rough, and we had already heard that. But this is the raid, like they didn't say that in here, but we'd heard a lot about.
Is that the one that's the Codex?
At the end.
Is it the Codex?
At the end.
Final one.
Yeah, the Codex.
Cryo.
Marathon ship. I say.
Oh no, there it is. Right after. Right. Yeah, if you're watching it's about 20 minutes in. But man, yeah, in other words, it does look scary, and they just warned you. You're like, if you don't bring your best stuff in and best like skill, everything's rough.
I mean, this looks like some of the best
like Tarkov
Clovis Bray environments from Destiny, right? Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
which is fantastic. That's
a
kind of what you want, really.
Yeah, it's these. Yeah, it is labs. That's a great way to put it, Mo. And I guess like, is that right? The Clovis Bray labs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Warmind,
but with like PvP in it, which you can imagine being pretty ominous, and scary.
Yeah,
to have other players run around trying to take your loot.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? They have one shot that I don't know why it stood out to me. It's right around 20 minutes and 45 seconds. But it's all these blue and red, pink lasers, it's coming from the PvE enemies. Looks like Star Wars. But just like the way that it's happening, it was just a good shot, and it's probably scripted. But if you can pull that off, that feeling with PvE, and you don't immediately die, is the other part of it. It could be interesting. But yeah, like visually, I think people still, there's a contingent who do not like the boxiness, and they don't even like vibrancy. Yeah. You're not going to change their minds, but anyone who saw the closed alpha test and then now this will definitely be like, wow.
This does look a lot.
Nice. You know what? Like,
it looks a lot better to
compare this to Highguard,
like
this is kind of like, I think you'd rather do this as a company. Is you just make something divisive. Like you either love it or hate it. Whereas Highguard, I think it's just smack bang in the meh. Like, I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. Like, I think this is a better risk to take, is to do something really outlandish and stand out and hope people like it, than to go really safe and do like AK-47 fantasy.
Yep. Yeah, this what's really interesting is that, now we're just talking about looks and the presentation. Like, I don't know. I didn't play the recent test, and the people who did, I don't think you can talk about it yet. But I'm like, I don't know. Does it still play the same? Like, I had major issues with like the time to kill, like just sort of, I felt like, well, they didn't have a solo mode, but I felt like every time I got in a fight, it just was over. And
I think I think that would change it really quickly, having a solo mode for sure.
Yeah. So
I don't think this game is going to be friendly like Arc Raiders is, with people prox chatting a lot.
Maybe in solo though.
I don't know. It depends what the missions are. Like, if they make the missions hard, and that depends how hard the enemies are. They did talk about the enemies being harder and being more threatening, which is good, because it was kind of one of the issues was just kind of leave enemies alone, because they're very clearly like sound traps made by the developers to just trap you, as in everyone on the map hears you, and then they just like
Yeah.
third party you. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays
Yeah.
out now. I do think Marathon, now that it's had time to cook, has some very distinct advantages over Arc Raiders, which would be its main competitor now for a casual extraction shooter. One being first person. I think two, if they get the builds crafting working, it's something that really is not in Arc Raiders, and they did talk about that before, where you can get mods that really change your gun and how the gun works and even your abilities. So
one of the guns turns into a needler.
I was
going to
bring that up,
turns a
Watts.
needler, yeah.
The sidearm
jumped
is
up.
Rat King in
Rat
Destiny.
King sidearm, and they're like,
go
you can
invis.
double down as, you know, invis time, which is super interesting. A game called Dark and Darker had this in it, and you could make builds where you could just be invisible for way longer if you got the right mods to it. And
everybody loves invis in PvP. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, and people are gonna hate invis.
Can you make sure that I can get frozen and suspended and not move at all as well?
Yeah, no,
love it.
You know, who knows how that stuff's balanced? But I guess the point is, if they get you can't make builds too hard to make, right? Like, I think that balancing extraction shooters is one of the hardest things to do, because you need to make things valuable enough that you actually want to chase the loot. But if you make them too valuable and then you can only get them after 20 hours, you're either not going to use them, or only degenerate streamers are going to use them, and then everyone's going to complain the game's unfair. So it's like this balancing point where, okay, we're going to make people invis and they can make invis builds. How powerful is the invis, and how long do you have to play the game to get the invis mods to go invisible for longer?
Yeah, but and like you said, who knows how to balance it?
You just have to play it right and see what happens.
The cool part about that is, and it just wasn't hitting right. I don't even think you could do anything with it yet, but you know, you can hack, and there's certain like grenades and abilities where you can hack invis. So there is like room for that stuff. I'm pretty sure, right? That you're going to be able to counter it with other heroes, and so that's where it gets interesting. Like
counted, I think
maybe that
invis.
Well, yeah,
you
the
could
scan.
Wall hack. You could wall hack with the scan.
Yeah, but I think there was even some like stims that like, and that's where it'll be interesting to see if it's viable. Because in Destiny, it's like, well, you can counter it with like an overpowered like broken weapon maybe, but it's not the same.
So exactly, like if you're gonna have like broken stuff, then you need like counter plays, but you don't want there to be like always hard counters, so that your team's always like, oh, we need a blackboard, we need an invis, you know. I mean, that's just what comes down to.
It could be audio stuff too, like, you know, you can hear stuff. The game sounds good, but meaning in other words, if invis gives off like even an audio hit, I'm sure they're doing stuff like that. So,
but I think if
they also
get
had
that
the doorways that have like the plastic. So
Yeah,
they seem
yeah.
to have that a lot in places. So it kind of
Yeah,
seems
so you're
like
gonna
the
see
map
people come
design
through.
is also created to balance out invis.
Yeah, it's a good point.
if they can get it right, it will be a point of difference though, because this is something that doesn't exist in the genre yet, with like hero abilities and build crafting. Like Tarkov's build crafting is getting a stubby grip on your AK that increases its vertical or decreases its vertical recoil by 7%. Right, you build the meta AK that doesn't have any recoil on it. Like that's the build crafting in Tarkov, and Arc Raiders has a little bit of it, but they're more just like these kind of abilities you get from some of the equipment you wear, but not really. So it would be a selling point.
Yeah. A few of the things I wanted to point out in here was one, they did well. First of all, they basically went through an actual checklist of all of the main stuff that they were getting hit on of like, so I'm actually I'm like, what were they missing that they didn't come back and say, we really tried to improve it? So that'd be one interesting question, chat. If there was anything you were like, man, they didn't feel like they addressed this at all.
Honestly,
but it felt like a big checklist.
A lot of it.
That's what I mean.
I think they got a lot of it.
But then like, I've just always been a fan of Bungie's audio excellence, like for real. Like, I mean, a lot of what they do is excellent, but their audio teams have always been on another level. I'm pretty sure they still have some of the best audio folks and knowledge in the industry. And I mean, I've seen, and met some of these people. But when I heard, more about the audio, and they also like were really trying to they showed off the importance of like footsteps, and they already got that right. But all of that plus I love the soundtrack work and everything. Once I got that audio hit, it hyped me up, even though I didn't even like the game that much. It's like, in the build up, and I was just like, I could go for a run, and I don't even like want to play that much, so to speak, but it was getting me hyped.
Yeah.
So they're cooking something.
I think the weakest part of the game, and they did actually talk about it, but I still think the weakest part of the game is the enemy design, and especially coming from Bungie. Like I think Bungie's done so good with enemy design over so many years, from bosses to little dudes, from ads to everything else. Like they feel very samey, and I hope that they don't feel samey, and the enemies feel threatening. And they've got different abilities, and they've done work on that, because especially coming from ARC creators, where so much of the development time went into like machine learning for these AI, and like you've got giant bosses and things you got to work together as a team. Like it feels like that's what Bungie should have
I
done.
agree. That's one of the things I like in Bungie games, all the way back through Halo. It's just like the enemy feels, the AI, and like the closed alpha did not have that feel. And then it's even worse that they're all like boxy, like Fox Sports football player, like AI character. I don't know. It's not that bad, but it feels a little like these fabricated, like big chunky dudes. And they introduced even like they told you about some bigger enemies. But yeah, I still was like, I don't know. I'm just still not seeing what you're talking about, Myelin. And even then there's some irony of like, I don't know if this is all the Tiger engine, I think is what their engine is. They've evolved for many
It's Unreal
years.
Engine for Marathon.
Oh, Marathon's Unreal. Okay.
Pretty sure it is.
I hope so. But like, whatever the case, I'm like, why does Bungie seem to not be able to iterate a lot of different enemy types? Now, we don't know for sure because we haven't seen it all, but I'm like, it does feel like I just saw, they were polished up. So,
oh, it is Tiger for Marathon?
We'll
I thought they maybe they didn't decide to do.
Sometimes people use like, I don't know why they would, but Unreal for like cutscene stuff. But regardless, they're definitely moving in the right direction. I think they've proven that they can listen a lot, and that's one thing I wanted to end my thoughts on, which was like, look, I've never rooted for this game. I've just rooted for give us a chance to play it, and also they had a closed alpha, so like let's just see what the final is before we condemn it. Exactly what I'm getting into with Highguard. So at least I think you can see you gave them 6 to 9 more months and a ton of feedback, and when we work together, look what can happen. Not everything is gloom and doom. And that's really where my heart is at in all of these arguments. So I don't think anyone's dumb for disliking. If you still think it looks stupid, that's fine, but play it. And that's why I'm still asking, like, I wonder how it plays. It's looking better, but how does it play? So,
what's the actual date now? Because
I was going to say release date price.
Right?
March.
Yeah, $40. March 2026. So it's making end of Sony's fiscal year. That's really what's going on. Is they were supposed to release in September, which is within the Sony PlayStation fiscal year, which ends in March 31st. And they clearly weren't going to make that. And they were already being freaking pushed, as that's what I see. And now they had extra time, and they took it to the latest they could possibly go. And it's funny when you're watching the video doc. I forget if it was an audio guy or who it was, where he was like, they asked him like, so is it like a lot of work at the very, and basically you could tell is like, we've been working, he didn't say this, but we've been working so much overtime. We are so screwed right now. But you could see like that they're proud that they've put in tons of extra work. So, but yeah. So $40.
Look, I'm definitely more excited to play Marathon than I was before. So
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly,
the Vidoc did good things.
It was a very good Vidoc and
step in the right direction.
Yeah,
but they usually do that well, right? Like Bungie never fails with marketing. That's probably like
it's true.
One of the things they're very good at.
I think the one thing that like it does it'll give me some hope is that it does look closer to that announcement trailer and that short movie, and like I really, really like the vibe of that.
Yeah,
so this got that going for it, and like Bungie feel of guns is usually pretty great. Also, I thought the factions got a big boost. Like they look really cool.
Yeah,
and it seems like their missions are a bit more interesting as well.
Skill trees, I think, have been redesigned. I remember what they showed. I was like, that looks way more interesting. Like the faction skills and stuff.
I mean, and also the story stuff would be another selling point if they get that right. Yeah, because they'll talk a lot more environmental storytelling, which
They
would
put
be
a
another
lot.
selling point for an extraction shooter, really, because they're often quite weak in that area.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I think I heard like in game, right? Like your faction leader was
Talking
speaking
to
to
you,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, which is
Mhm.
like I forget if it did it all, but I was like,
I don't
that
think so.
whatever's going on, this sounds so much more immersive and interesting. So I don't know how often or but yeah. So it's looking good. I wanted to ask this, which is like it's funny, you know, how much I've complained about free to play. And again, I think there's room for that, especially in a multiplayer where like, man, you need a lot of players to keep it fun. But I kind of like seeing a lot of these games being like, you know what, let's have it be $40, like with cheaters and also like kind of the stinkiness of like it's not a grift, hopefully. Do we think we're in a new era where maybe there's going to be fewer
Well,
Highguard
this
type
might
free to
be like
plays,
a
you know?
segue into a quick chat about Arc Raiders, but like Arc Raiders is, I think they're going to copy Arc Raiders model, which is it's a $40 game, but like there are a lot of things in the store, cosmetics wise, that you have to buy,
Yeah.
and you can earn some stuff, but it makes me feel ill. Like
Yeah.
there is
Oh,
just so
I'd
much
love
cool
to talk.
stuff that you just got to buy.
Oh, it's
And I've
all,
already
the
paid 40
only
bucks for
good
the
stuff
game.
you have to buy. That's
Yeah.
always my complaint. I'm like, that is the slipperiest of slopes. They're gonna give you stuff. To be fair, they've given you free coin. They just did another bonus. So they're
Yeah, but
not.
you know that's just to get you spending,
Of course
right?
it
It's
is.
like
Yeah. You
it's
sound
part of the
like
strategy of like, oh, you've
yes.
spent some money now, you got a little bit left over, you might as well top up the wallets, you might as well top it up a bit.
Yeah, dude. Let's just say that in Arc Raiders, I want to know what you think, Myelin. How do you feel about the look, the way your character look has progressed over the hundreds of hours you've played for not buying things in the store?
I think I like the aesthetic of the cosmetic. I don't like how it plays out. I don't think it reflects you know, I think what Bungie did early on in Destiny is like your guardian reflects your accomplishments. And that's how I met my first clan, like wearing raid gear. Like, oh wow, you've done the raid. You know what I mean? Whereas I like the look of the cosmetics in Arc Raiders, but it is just purchase power at the moment for the most part. There are some things that you're only going to get by doing this like sweaty trials that some people will have access to, but they're not even like really distinct looking. They look pretty average.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's good to hear that you are, I think, pretty good critique of what's out there, but I'm way less enthused as you could guess. I'm like, I hate it's just like I went from like the main first look of like the first thing you earn is that like yellow stripe, like slim fitting jacket, maybe with the motorcycle helmet or whatever, which might have turned into like this with the mask. It turned into like the PvP like rat thing because it was the end of forget where you got that, but then it was that for a while. But I wanted more colors. I'm like, you're just not gonna get them unless you buy them, or there was a few quests you could do. But anyway, then I found one other one that was like actually I might have used the free coin that I earned from the deck. But that was how I had to get it, was still with the coin. And that's my point is I've really only been those two things. And there's like only a couple backpacks. And it wasn't until I finished the Raider trials that I got far enough to get a different light on the backpack type, because the archaeologist backpack. And I was like, good, it's not bright green anymore. Now it's kind of like a coppery orange. And I'm like, but I've barely changed in 150 hours of playing is my point. For a game like this, it's inexcusable, but I understand you got to dedicate your resources somewhere. But I'm with you. In other words, like the store has way too much of the good stuff, and it always happens when you have a store. That's just the problem. I have the same fears for
Yeah.
Marathon.
Basically. Yeah. And they also have an issue with like advertising properly what you could earn. Like you could do these trials, which is essentially you compete against 100 other people every week and you got to climb this rank. It's like a ranked PvE mode, but you still got to fight off other players in the game. And you get like only if you're in the top. Well, there's one reward I think is like the top 100 in the world.
Yeah, that
But it's
I
like
forget what that is, but
yeah, it's like a color or something. You know what I mean? It's so, and you can't even like inspect it either. You can't. It just you got to look at this tiny like little thumbnail to see what it is, and it's weird like
It's
that.
not
They don't showcase what the rewards are.
yeah, like that's the question, right? Is if let's say you got even to, do you know what the last title is for the top
Yeah, it's
Just-
like it's
There's
Daredevil,
try
or
hard.
Daredevil's that.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know
it's
what it is.
Daredevil.
I think
So
it's
whatever it
Daredevil.
is, Daredevil level 3 or whatever the end is. You know the outfit I'm talking about? With the red
Yeah,
scarlet.
it's patrol or something. Yeah.
Sure. So, what do you think of that outfit for all that work versus what's in the store? How would you rate the two?
Oh yeah,
in quality?
it looks completely average. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go. It says it all. Like that is the biggest problem in these games. So they just have to stop doing that, which is like I always bring this up, and I remember we might have even argued on this show where like it does depend, but people are like, it's really hard to make outfits and stuff. It's much harder than you think. But then I'm like, sometimes you look at a store like this, I'm like, I don't know, there's a decent amount of stuff in the store. So
Just
Yeah.
chockers. It's full.
oh,
The store
chocked
is-
full.
The store
Yeah,
is
yeah.
chocked full. Chockers.
Yeah. Chalkers. Got
Chock-
you. I
Chocker
thought you said
block.
shockers.
Full.
Chocker block.
Shockers. So yeah,
There you go.
curious to see where it goes. Cold Snap.
Oh.
Oh,
I know. Fran and I was just talking about upgrades. Last thing, I'm not going to talk about upgrades anymore. Okay.
yeah,
thing.
right.
They have the not mandatory. They have the voluntary wipe, which wipes your character. You start over again. You get rid of blueprints, and they release the information on how much money you need to farm. You can get 5 skill points permanent bonus. So you have a skill tree that you can only get to 75 skill points. You can't unlock the entire skill tree, but if you choose to delete your character and your accounts or whatever for this next thing coming up, and you have $5 million in the bank, you get 1
Of
million
value.
per point. And just to put this in reality for those who don't play, how much you have to play, right? If you didn't have any money, like if you've just been using all your stuff and you had no value in your stash, if you were doing like money runs and getting in and out between 5 to 7 minutes, and a match is 30 minutes, so you're just beelining to loot and getting out. If you're only getting out with 20k,
Hopefully
and you
getting out.
survive every single time, you have to do 250 raids, which is about 29 hours. That doesn't include load time. That doesn't include
no, it's not 29
matchmaking, and it doesn't include you dying a couple of times, more than a couple of
Right.
times.
Yeah, my
Right.
stat.
And
Let's say
20k is like not a good run. Like you've survived, but you got a little bit of loot and you got out. 50,000 per run is pretty good loot run. That's still going to take you 12 hours of grinding.
and you're saying
to
you have to do a
make 5
full
million.
30 minutes to make how much on average?
No, I'm saying if you did speed runs at 7 minutes a pop,
Oh, 7
And you're
minutes. apiece.
making-
Gotcha.
7 minutes, which is quick. You have to be
And you said
That is-
250 runs.
250 runs. If you're only making
Yeah.
20,000
I
per
got you.
run, which is not a good amount.
Right.
You're probably going to give up at that point. But the thing is, as it gets more competitive, like sometimes I was only walking out with 20k because everyone's already hit the spots. You're fighting to get in, you're fighting to get out, you're dying, you got the load times in there. So it's like 30 hours of like just continuous gameplay to
Yeah.
reach that. A lot of people just gave up.
Yeah. Well, and this is where I want to
And- and
clarify. Are you saying 7 minutes topside?
Topside.
Yeah, so I think you can bring the number down, but I will say with stash management, especially when you're trying to keep a full stash and all, I personally have found that it's about double total gameplay time versus, meaning it's about, if I played for 80 hours, I've played for almost 150 hours. So in other words, it could
Oh,
be
in
like,
menus.
in other words, it may take you 50 hours to do this.
Yeah, so I mean, guess that's the thing, right? Like it's forced people to
Matchmaking,
play a
everything.
certain way, which is like you can't spend too much time in the lobby. Also use like free kits, so you're not investing any money. You've got to be you got to hope that you get a fresh spawn. You've got to know exactly where you're going to optimize how much money you're
Yeah.
getting. Otherwise, I mean that's the point I'm making. Otherwise, it's actually quite a huge amount of hours investment, and a lot of people didn't like that. And they only gave you like 2 weeks to do it because they only
Yeah.
announced how much money it was going to cost you like a couple weeks out from the.
Yeah, I
from
saw
the-
people were trying to figure
resale.
out like how you can get materials to craft things that are better value and all this stuff. But then you need those blueprints if you don't have them and blah blah. But yeah, it's a grind. I never was interested in I was interested when the game launched, and then when I started playing the game, I'm like, I'm going to lose all my blueprints. No.
So that's another thing that was kind of weird. They bumped up how much blueprints dropping, and then they released the signups for the expedition, which is like you commit to wiping your character, and then they nerfed the blueprints. And I was kind of making a joke that what was going to happen was so many people were concerned about losing blueprints, but then they bumped them up. I'm like, oh, okay, there's not going to be an issue anymore. They'll sign up to wipe their account, and And then they'll drop the blueprints back down again.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, why'd you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you're seeing like they did a really good job with this game, and they knew kind of where they were headed with this, but they were, I think, fixing the plane in midair on this one, and yeah, they barely kind of pulled off this first like seasonal reset thing, and to make clear to people, right, it was that they didn't want to like reset everybody and force that, so they were trying to figure out like how do we do it in a way that still is meaningful. But you're gonna still have people like me, like this season at least. I'm like, I'm not resetting, so I'll be out there day one with a patina and like that's my favorite. But
yeah, and I reckon you should shoot everyone who resets.
Yeah,
just ask them if they've reset because they're probably the sweaty guys shooting you to get the 5 million before the reset.
Yeah, oh, totally, yeah. But that's that would be interesting to see. But anyway. We'll see how people feel after the resets. That's going to be the topic is how do you feel now that it has reset and it's been a week or two,
Everyone says streamers are sweaty. And you know what all my degenerate ex-Destiny friends are doing? They are having a mule. So they're getting blueprints, giving it to a friend who's not resetting their account, and then getting their friend to drop the blueprints for them, which is disgusting behavior.
I agree. You know what's funny, Myelin?
That's
like,
genius.
Yeah, I thought of this by the way.
It's such a classic Destiny thing too.
It is,
like,
dude.
It's just such classic sidestep PVE min maxer.
How dare you? Are you calling those people dumb? How dare you? That's in the game. That's their right. No, I was joking about it.
Degenerates.
Me calling people dumb. Oh no, I agree. You know, it's funny, Myelin. I think I did in the very beginning. I took one or two, but maybe not. I don't think I did. But I won't take blueprints from people. I have blueprints per hour. It's like a math number. That's why I know all these numbers. So yeah, I know that for me on average, an earned and learned blueprint, in other words, not duplicates, it's like every 2.5 to 3. I mean, it's probably 2.7 hours for me of topside time. Topside time. So you're talking like 5 to 6 hours for a blueprint for me.
Well, okay, to put that in perspective, it changed from that to like 4 to 5 blueprints every run.
I didn't get that lucky night one, unfortunately. I got one and it was a duplicate, so I never benefited. But I was playing Cold Snap. I wasn't playing Stella Montes though. But Fran luck, dude.
There you go.
But no, I'm
excited. Next week. Next week, the wipe will have happened. And I'll be on a fresh account.
That's Christmas, bro.
Oh yeah. Don't ask me next week.
That's now we got New Year's Day.
Well, that's the other thing. Who makes a wipe during Christmas? Everyone's like, oh, guess I don't care about my family.
Yeah. You know what, though, wait, what day does it reset? Like next Tuesday?
22nd.
Yeah, it's right before Christmas. To be fair, it's getting it done before Christmas, but then like, yeah, you're going to want to play the thing. And it's like, but a lot of people do play games at Christmas. It's like their first time off work and stuff. So you'd be surprised.
A lot of people also traveling over Christmas too.
There's going to be a lot of noobs in the game, although it's not a free to play, but you'll probably find a lot of new people. Yeah,
nothing's better than Christmas noobs. It's the ultimate Christmas present.
Christmas always a good one. Refund the game.
I got a game I want to talk about. This is probably the biggest surprise I've had all year. As far as absolutely adoring a video game that I've never heard anything about. It's called Terminator 2D No Fate.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen any of this game? No. I'm going to put some gameplay up on the screen. This game looks... I can only describe it as like... I would say like a modern Sega Genesis style game. It's made by Bitmap Bureau.
We have no Fate, but what we make for ourselves.
It's a 2D side-scrolling game, obviously based off Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And it is like a love letter to Terminator 2 in a way that it feels almost bizarre because Terminator 2 is such an old movie. What did it come out in, like 1992?
Yeah.
So it's like who thought,
man.
How do you like come to the decision, yeah, we're going to make the bossest ass Terminator 2 video game as if the Sega Genesis was still around. And then also it's awesome. It's like, it's so fun.
Who's it made by?
Bitmap Bureau. So it's
one of these animations literally looks identical to a side scroll I used to play. I think it was was actually originally published by Blizzard. I want to say Black Hawk or something.
Oh, I can see
crazy.
that. Yeah,
Oh, I know
Blackthorn.
what Blackthorn is
Black-
definitely. Yeah, I used to love that game.
Yeah,
That's
that
what you're
game was
talking about.
sick.
Yeah, but
That
like
game
they had
was.
like ogres and stuff, and you had like a shotgun and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was called Blackthorn, wasn't it?
yeah.
Anyhow,
No,
so this game
no idea.
mostly is a 2D side-scrolling game. And you play as different characters from Terminator 2. You run around, sometimes you're in the future, sometimes you're at your Sarah Connor trying to escape the insane asylum with the T-1000 kind of hunting you down. There's this amazing scene where the T-1000 the security guard from Terminator 2 is buying the coffee, and the T-1000 kind of like imitates the security guard and then stabs him through the eye, just like in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of like kicks off the beginning of the chase scene, and you've got to like run through this insane asylum, knocking out the guards and unlocking the gates. Meanwhile, the T-1000 is just like morphing through the gates like it did in the movies. There's so many scenes in this. Like there's stuff that isn't from the movies, right? It's like filler, like where they got their own idea. It plays so tight. I don't know if you guys have ever played RoboCop, like for the arcade or the NES.
Oh yeah.
Like
It
it's
was
very
reminding me of that for
much
sure.
got this like very crisp, like I can aim my gun in 8 directions. I have to stop to fire. It's a very crisp feeling game. It's very tightly controlled. It's very deliberate, but still feels fluid and still feels fun because the animation is so good. But it doesn't have that like weird, some of the best animated games of the 60-bit generation, like I'm thinking like Earthworm Jim and stuff like that, where like there's too much animation priority. There's too much animation. It made the games feel unresponsive because you'd hit a button, but you had to wait for like the previous animation to finish. This game feels very responsive and very good. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's got a 16-bit style, but it's, they could have never pulled off
Yeah,
these graphics.
modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything is like dialed to 11 in terms of the 16-bit style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you mean
yeah.
you couldn't do this? I'm pretty sure with the old processors and stuff.
No,
but that's
you
why
absolutely
it
couldn't.
strikes you. Yeah, you're like, wow, like it's in the style, but it looks amazing because it's got, everything is cranked to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think
on the video where you're playing as Arnie naked.
Yes.
Yeah,
amazing. And here's what they do,
In the
because
bar.
you can't have a
Naked
health
Arnie.
bar as naked Arnie trying to. He walks into the bar. He's like, "Give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle." And then he, obviously the bikers aren't going to do that, so they have to get in a fight. And it turns into like a side-scrolling like belt brawler where you almost like
Yeah.
Final Fight style thing,
yeah.
where you're naked Arnie beating up all these bikers. But of course you can't have a damage bar. So how do they solve that? Is that every time you get hit, it just lowers your time. And if you run out of time, you got to redo the level, which is kind of like, I thought, really
Oh, that's
smart way
awesome.
to do it. The really
Right,
fun
right.
bosses. There's a ton of different difficulty levels, so you can just play through and just see everything on the easiest difficulty. And it gets pretty challenging once you get up to like the harder difficulties. I gotta tell you, this game is a masterpiece. It's something special. I mean, I'm a big fan of those old Terminator movies. I thought they were really fun. So there's a warm spot in my heart for this. But I mean, it's just a cool ass video game.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've heard other people talk about it and say like this is really, really good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that it is indeed good.
Yeah, I feel like we sort of knew about it, but I don't know why. But to your point, like it launched, and yeah, all my friends like were just talking about it. It has that level of buzz. It was like you have to play this.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. 'Cause
like,
this
I'm
seems
just
like it'd be
watching this
something
video,
on my
like,
radar
every
100%.
Every scene, I'm like, oh, that's an iconic scene. Oh, that's an
And that's what I was-
iconic scene. Oh, that's an
Yeah.
iconic scene.
Yeah.
Perfect segue, because I was like, if I was gonna play this, I would actually watch at least Terminator 2 first. Maybe
Yeah.
just watch both 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But you would probably have so much more fun because it's not going to take you that long to watch those and then play. I would do that because it's amazing, like all the stuff that's in here.
I think that's a good idea. And, games of that era, there's so many movie games of that era, and they were usually pretty piss poor. Like they weren't good adaptations of the movie. This is like such a faithful adaptation of the movie. Plus it adds, stuff to it that, like just kind of fills out the story, or, it's just cool. So they threw it in there. But yeah, it's really it's quite clever. There's so much different. They changed up the gameplay quite frequently, so it feels fresh from level to level. And there's really fun cutscenes as well, where they kind of, they got Sarah Connor and
Yeah.
the T-800 all talking and having a good time.
Edward
like they do.
Furlong.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. We have no fate but what we make for ourselves. I think that's the line.
Yeah, highly recommend this one. I got it on the Switch, and it runs great on the Switch.
Nice.
Oh, great. Something you can play.
It's good to hear.
Cool.
Well,
What else?
I think we shouldn't forget to talk about that update in Monster Hunter Wilds, Watts.
Oh man, yeah, wow.
been
So this
grinding.
is title update 4. If you're unfamiliar with the way that Monster Hunter does updates, they have like smaller updates and some event quests and stuff littered throughout their update cycle, but they have these like big landmark title updates that will bring in new systems, new monsters, etc. So this is title update 4, their final title update of the base game. We will now just be waiting for an expansion at some point.
I didn't fully comprehend that. It's like this
Yeah.
until into like 2027.
Yeah, they are
maybe.
bringing on, speaking of games doing stuff on Christmas Eve is going to be Arc Tempered Jindahad,
Oh my
who's
God.
coming out, and then in February there's going to be Arc Tempered Arkveld, and that will be like the final update
The last
outside
one.
of them doing a collab with Monster Hunter Stories 3, which we don't know what exactly that is yet, but yeah, this is the last like big title update. This adds an Elder Dragon called Gogmazios. He's huge. He hasn't been in the game since Monster Hunter 4. So it's been quite a while, and he's never been in like a 4K Monster Hunter game. So alongside hunting him, which you have to bring fire weapons and you have to bring dragon weapons, you're using fire to melt his oil that's on him, and also to dislodge this massive ray gun that's on his back. You can
That's
then
cool.
use said ray gun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Once you've done that, he's flying all the way up. You're like chasing him up this mountain. Once you get to the top where it's his final phase, you need to use dragon damage to quell his power. And if you don't, when he does his big attack, you will take damage from that attack. So that is the fight. It brings a whole new endgame system, which is taking Artian weapons, which was the previous one of the previous
everybody's favorite.
systems, taking Artian weapons and turning them into Gogmazios weapons. And these weapons can get armor skills on them. So any armor skill in the game, any single one. Some of the standouts would be Gore Magala's armor set. It would be, you can even get Gogmazios's armor skill on his weapons. So he has new armor, of course.
And what's a good what is that skill as an example? Is it like, well, I'll let you.
The Gogmazios armor basically acts like elemental agitator. So when a monster is
dope.
angry,
That's
you
what I was
do more elemental damage.
That's what I was trying to remember, like what armor skills were like versus weapon skills.
Yeah, so an armor skill would be like, for example, you could get like burst boost, where when you proc the burst skill, it does more damage and lasts for longer. And then you can also get like Lord Soul, which gives you a skill that basically saves you from getting one hit. It takes you down to 0
yeah.
health, but you
Like
you
last
do not die. Yeah.
Last chance.
So you can get that on your weapon. So this is crazy for opening up build potential. You can basically run a bunch of different perks now because you just need 2 of an armor skill in order to get that skill. So you can have one of those or 2 of those on your weapon now. So you can make some crazy things. You could do crazy stuff.
For fashion is fun too, probably. Well, I guess you can transmog everything
transmog,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess you don't need to. But if you're a pure
Yes.
one, you don't do that type of
So it's really opened up builds. You can really
Nice.
you can just go crazy. You can and then on top of that, they brought in the Transcend system. So armor that was from earlier in the game that you're like, I don't want to use that because the decoration slots aren't very good and the defense is really bad, you can transcend those armor pieces, which will then upgrade the decoration slots and upgrade the defense to basically be high level armor. So if you
Nice.
are one, and
Okay.
that also opens it up, right? Because then you've got all of these armor pieces that had really cool skills, but you never use them because it's old armor. You can now use all of that. So lots of systems.
People are happy. People happy with the update.
People are very, very happy. Yeah.
Nice.
Super, super happy.
Where do you think
Very
it puts you and the community as these final, update pieces roll out to title update 4? In other words, as Neo 3 hits, and who knows what else? We know some things coming out next year. But in other words, as you wait, how much do you think you're playing after next January or February?
It's hard to say because I mean you could probably still be trying to make everything that you want with the system and with the talisman system by then. Like if you're really like, I'm trying to make my perfect build, and then do you want to play another weapon and make a perfect build for that weapon? Do you want to make niche builds? Do you want to make funny, like silly builds? Like there's so many things that you can do if you're enjoying Monster Hunter and you want to keep doing it. And there's so many things that you can farm now. So many things give you talisman drops. So many things give you things that you want to use. So yeah, it just depends, of course, if there's other games coming out, but I would be very happy to just keep playing Monster Hunter for a long time. I think Wilds is in a really, really good spot. And they just launched their winter event. So there's now like a bunch of new layered armor that's been added that you can farm, a bunch of really funny events that you can do. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. It's really good.
Good.
Everyone's
Well, that's
very
good to
happy.
hear.
Oh, they also did a huge performance update. They're doing 2 more performance updates following this one, but yeah, they did a huge CPU update. This one was dedicated to CPU updates. So I've heard now also that a lot of people are having significant improvements to their PC performance.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's all really, really, really good. And dude, I haven't played it yet, but Night Rain has now launched their Ever Dark Balancers, which is like hard mode version of one of the new bosses that they brought out. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow so I can at least see it, so I can look at, my timeline on Twitter. But I've heard that it's basically a completely different boss fight. And all of the lore nerds that I follow on Twitter are going nuts. So I'm excited to see that. Figure that out. Piece things together. I'm having a great time.
Very nice.
December was all Monster Hunter and Night Rain, and I'm so glad that I just stuck to that. I did a little bit of Expedition 33 because they shadow dropped their update. I did a little bit of that. But I was like, I really want to just stick to these 2 games because there's so much that I want to do in them. I want to stay focused. Yeah.
Stay focused.
I'm staying focused.
Don't have to tell Fran to stay focused. He's always focused.
He is. God
That's
forbid
only
he plays
partially
something
true.
else.
Sometimes I'm trying to, as I've mistakenly done on the show, I'm like, yeah, let me look that info up to be sure. And then I was like, what were you saying?
For a man that
Sometimes.
is so down on battle passes and live service, he sure do only play those games when his arm isn't hurting.
Hey, Arc Raiders was $40 though. That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
mad
and you
about it.
grind in a battle pass.
Diablo, similar. No, you know what's funny though? That's what's really, Myelin, you can tell them. You don't grind a battle pass. It's really interesting. I've never had to look at my challenges. Because honestly, the battle passes are not that interesting, but you get so much done. It's kind of like how Destiny bounties and stuff were, where like you just, if you don't pay attention, you'll get stuff done, but it's way better. I have like 1,000, they're called deck points, and like I haven't even had to think about it.
People were getting so many they put a cap on it.
I know. I
have 5,500.
Oh my god!
And
yeah,
I don't know how many. And so when they release, it's like Helldivers has a battle pass that comes out, and you got to spend this coin on it, right? And it unlocks the next page, and you got to buy everything in that page, and then it unlocks that. And I don't know how many coins you need to complete a deck. But let's say it's 200 or something. I don't know. It's
a lot more than that. But
it's not that. Well, it's not 1,000.
Could be 500.
So
or
everyone,
1,000, but yeah,
everyone's basically gonna insta complete
the next one. Yeah,
years worth of decks because they just and so they put a cap at 800. So I cannot earn any more now until I go below the cap.
Damn.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I have just over 1,000 now, but yeah, like I think the good news is they're so successful that they're probably only worried about the backlash of trying to communicate that you're not going to be able to stockpile them. But they give you
marathon
some
thing.
free
I just
coins.
remembered because we were talking about Battle Pass. They have said that you are going to be able to purchase previous Battle Passes. They don't run out.
Oh yeah.
So they're not doing any FOMO with their Battle Pass stuff.
Yeah, you
for
can like I
Marathon.
think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was like Halo Infinite's like this, where if you buy
It's like
one,
Halo Infinite,
you
yeah.
can also. Is it that you can also finish it? Yeah, whenever you want.
Yeah, you can finish it whenever you want. You can buy it whenever
Which
you want.
Is
Yep.
what you should get regardless. I mean, Destiny. It's like, dude, I paid for this, and like I can't even like. What if I just want to use my stuff on my XP on this old one? Yeah, that's a
very
nice one.
non-Bungie to not give you a time limit that you have to play the game for X hours to complete before
Days are over, dude.
before it disappears forever.
Gotta keep up with the times.
Yeah, I mean, devs are not entirely, but moving a little more from trying to get you to play their game forever to just try to get you to play their game. back to basics. You can't like grift everybody.
True. Yeah, nice.
Briar.
Oh, I didn't talk about Warframe. Did I talk about Warframe last week? I already played
I think
it.
so.
I was hoping that
It
we
was
could
the
talk
Game
about our
Awards.
picks from the Game Awards, but if you got to get Warframe off your chest. But I was going to ask Briar if you...
I played the most recent update called the Old Piece. Was sponsored. Not this. Me saying these words is not sponsored right now, but was sponsored to play it. They're always so lovely. I always make the joke like I think I've spoken to Warframe more in 6 months than I spoke to Destiny and like Bungie in like a decade. Like they just sent me like a Christmas gift, like a little picture frame. When
beautiful.
Jesse was born, they sent me like a little plushie for the baby, a little care package, like a magazine to take to the hospital. That was just great devs. And
You're a
lovely
real
people.
one for them.
Yeah. But yeah, more Warframe for free, pretty much. Like they did another really cool, interesting way to tell a story. You actually play flashbacks. Essentially, you play memories. So you play a time way back in the past where two factions were pretty much fighting, and the main bad guy, he's still bad, but you're kind of there with him at that point, and you even end up saving him at one point as well, which everyone's like, no, I can't believe we saved, space racist, like the guy who's like the worst in the whole series.
Did you say space racist? That's like one of the bad guys.
Everyone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one of the bad guys. Big boss battles. They've got some pretty convoluted lore which I didn't understand. I saw some negative comments about it, they felt it wasn't the best, but it was always hard for me to judge because I'm like, I don't know. 10 years of lore. It's like trying to imagine trying to critique like the latest season of Destiny, like from a story point of view, and not playing the last decade. It's like I don't know how to do that. I'm not gonna go watch 2 hours of lore to give you my thoughts. I understood the general approach of it as we went back and played these memories, and it was a time when these two factions were at war, and we got to like live through that and get a bit more backstory on our characters, which is always appreciated. I think I've always wanted to have that in Destiny, to like play the history of the game rather than just read about it.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they let you do that, and yeah,
Nice.
some usual free content.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask Briar if the meds were hitting him too hard, and if we are wrapping up the show. I mean, don't worry.
I'm a little spaced out. I'm fine though. I'm good.
I played the Pragmata
like,
Demo. I forgot.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. I forgot. That's something that happened. Pragmata is a game that had their demo dropped at the Game Awards. This is Capcom's brand new IP. Brand new. Not based on anything else. And they dropped a demo.
Definitely not Mega Man.
Not Mega. They also announced a Mega Man game.
Yeah. Now we know it's definitely not.
It's only on Steam for now. They said they wanted to do Steam first to make sure that they're good on performance, and then console demo will be out soon. April 23rd next year is the official release date, and this demo is pretty cool. So the cool thing about this demo that I really like the way it does stuff is after you complete it once, it's only about an 18-minute demo if you're taking your time. After you complete it once, you unlock new stuff for you to get. So you can load it up again, and you've got new weapons, you've got new stuff, and there's different endings. Now it's not like a complete like cutscene ending, but they have her, the girl called Diana, at the beginning drawing a picture. And then at the end of the demo, you get to see what that picture was. And then depending what you do throughout the demo will change the picture that she's drawn.
That's so smart.
It's a really smart way to do it. I was like, damn, okay. They also unlock an outfit for you, so you can kind of get a little bit of a taste of what the outfits could be throughout your playthrough. Yeah, so I got one where I didn't shoot my gun at all. I just hacked to kill all of the enemies, and you get like a picture of Diana that's like supercharged with her hacking everybody. So what this game is it takes place in the way that you're playing it. So it's a sci-fi game. The way that you're playing it is you have Diana, who is like an android girl. It's 3D printed from these Luna filament stuff. It's a whole sci-fi background. But she can hack enemies. So it will bring up a 2D space on the side of your screen, and it will have like arrows that you need to get through before you make it to the green section of this space that will then do the hack. As you go through the different blue arrows, that's going to increase the damage that the hack does to the enemy. And then it also opens the enemy up for your gun damage. So while you're doing that, you're also shooting with Hugh, who is the man in the game. And you're also dodging and jumping and jump dodging. So you're just like jumping around in this 3D space while also doing this puzzle. And it works so well. It's so fluid. When you start to like really lock in that sequence of gameplay, it feels really cool. And it's a
what buttons do you press? Like, how do you use it
for the hack?
Like, you're obviously using two joysticks to move around 3D. So what are you pressing to move?
You use the face buttons of the controller. So these ones.
Right.
And then you're dodging with like R1. So you're using all of this. You're aiming the same as you normally would with a gun. You're shooting the same way, but you're using the face buttons to do it.
Because I was thinking D-pad. I'm like, how are you moving around if you're using the D?
That would be awful. Yeah, it works really, really, really well, and it's a really interesting way of having tension in a game that isn't just like, wow, that boss is really hard and aggressive. It's you're dealing with this boss shooting missiles at you or rushing you while you're doing this puzzle. So
why are you doing Dance Revolution?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. I think it works incredibly well, and they did say that they had locked down how they wanted this game to be a long time ago. This game was famously delayed, but they spent like at least a year just on making that gameplay feel really good. And you can tell it feels great. So check out the demo if you're interested.
About the gameplay of this, like the puzzle aspect. Like I've not heard anybody say boo about it. Like everybody seems like this is fun.
I mean, Capcom doesn't miss right now, so it's amazing.
They're on fire.
On that note, I mean, is Mega Man? Could that be their first miss?
Okay, maybe they do miss.
No, but I don't know. Like it looks like Mega Man, but I wonder if it's like, oh,
does it look like Mega Man, or does it look like somebody made a Mega Man in Flash in 2003?
The style does. It's questionable, dude. It looks like Concord.
Hell yeah!
Looks like Astrobot, bro. It's trash. Yeah, no, that reveal didn't do it for me. I didn't mean to get off Pragmata.
You should play the demo, Fred. It's just like 18 minutes.
I'm going to actually. Yeah, you can play till like I think January 1st or something. So you got time.
I don't know when it goes away.
I think I saw it was like January.
There's also Twitch drops if people gift a sub while you're in the category.
Nice.
God forbid Fran makes money.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll show you how much money I would make. But no, like of course, anything that I can, but like, for $7 for an hour, I don't know that's changing the situation much.
No, Twitch drops, Fran.
Oh, you mean if people sub
people
to
gift
get
a
those.
sub and
there's
they get
that
a chat
on top.
badge.
Oh, well, I don't know if you saw, but like there's under sponsorships, the Pragmata Twitch launched channel skins, which actually I think is great. And I actually think
it's totally
system.
Fair. They just need to lock down the price of stuff because it's all wonky and weird and way too little.
Yeah, for
But
what it's
it
worth.
is a
let's say-
really cool system the way that it works, though.
Yeah, like in other words, I want to play the Pragmata Demo anyway. So to be real, like to make, let's say I made $20 if a miracle, but that'd be fine. I'd be happy with that actually, because all you do is like flip a skin on. You're already playing it anyway. And they actually say you can say whatever you want about it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Usually they're more like locked down for that. But I don't know. I brought a Mega Man, and then we started talking about sponsorships. Maybe I took some of the stuff Briar did. No, I didn't.
You're welcome to it. Come on over.
I would.
Good time.
I'm coming over for Christmas. I was open before. I know we're at end of show, but I would love to. There's a couple quick picks on Game Awards that you.
Yeah.
Now that you've had a little
Star
time,
Wars,
would that be
Fate of
okay,
the Old
Briar?
Republic. How are you gonna skip that one?
Yeah, I mean, Briar,
Yeah.
let's, if you're down, like, let's hear yours.
Yeah.
Top picks that you're like,
Yeah.
now that I've thought of these, yeah.
Fate of the Old Republic, absolutely right up there. Both the Tomb Raider games I'm pretty excited about. The Fate of Atlantis, which is the remake of Tomb Raider 1, I believe, and the new Catalyst. I like the Tomb Raider games. I've always liked Tomb Raider games.
Yeah.
You know, I like, you know, it's just the style of game that I enjoy, you know, that Uncharted kind of stole for a while, and not stole, but, you know, I like those type of games.
No, it's inspired by you.
Yeah, Control Resident, I'm excited to buy. I really like the first Control. I thought I had a ton of fun with that game. This game looks like going back to that world, but a totally different gameplay style, which I'm excited about. I mean, there was a ton of stuff. Total War Warhammer 40,000, 40K.
Oh yeah,
I was really excited about. That looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, there's so much.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, like I actually had already prepared some of these picks, so I'm in a better position. But there was a lot in there. I thought that's what's interesting. It was a good show, even if I agree with everybody. The ending was not great in terms of the Highguard trailer being placed there, but some really good stuff.
What were your picks, Fran?
I'll go last. I want to hear from you guys.
Oh, okay. I had Tank Rat. Looked interesting. We was like you kind of on the fly build tanks from scrap and like put them together, then fight other tanks.
What was it called?
That was a Tank Rat. It was a pre-show.
Yes. Oh,
Tank
that's
Rat.
what
Yeah.
you don't say.
Yeah. Star Wars for the Old Republic was definitely on there as well. Control Resonance as well. The Screamer was that like anime mixed with car racing. It was like
That was
racing
cool,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I forgot about that one. That
was cool.
like anime kind of storytelling
The
going
Screener?
on. Screamer. Yeah.
Was that pre-show as well?
Was it?
No.
I'll look it up.
No. That was.
I'll probably,
that was the
once
main
I
one.
see it, I'll be like, oh, that one.
Orbitals was another. Like,
Yeah.
it was like split fiction, but also like a animated like theme to it as well.
Old school anime style. I'm so excited for Orbitals. It's also being published by Kepler. Kepler are the people behind who published Clair Obscur. They're also a publisher that started like because they wanted to publish indie games.
Indie. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
Cool.
they normally have pretty good picks. So Orbital's looking
Right.
good, published by Kepler. I'm excited.
Ace Combat 8. I've never really played it. Ace
Definitely
Combat
was excited, yeah.
game.
Ace Combat
but
games are
I
fun.
think that could be a really good time as well. That
Been like
looks fun.
6
That
years.
looks fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm getting close to the end there.
What was the
Yeah,
Badger
that's about
game?
it.
Oh, Bradley
Oh yeah,
the
Bradley the
Badger.
Badger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bradley the Badger, which gave me big Conker's Bad Fur Day vibes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, oh,
kinda-
this
kinda
is like
sick.
a platformer, but a little bit more, hopefully a bit more like adult humor in it,
Mhm.
like
I like
disguised
that.
as a kids platformer. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
and the Star Wars pod racing.
Pod
I missed
racing.
that.
Parties.
Pod
I know you
racing.
love a good party.
Star Wars Galactic Racer. Yeah.
The real hero of the original pod racers making a return to Bulba, who I don't know,
Yeah.
hopefully survived after Anakin so definitely cheated and took his title unfairly.
I was
Cheater.
very excited about that one.
For me, ones that were brand new that we didn't already know about, which a lot of it was stuff we already knew about. Stupid Never Dies. I'm interested in that game.
Yeah.
It's the one that started out with a song, a long song.
Yes.
I enjoyed the song. But this is by a studio that has Capcom. It's got like huge action game making people in it.
Yeah, I was
Like a
did it
big
have
pedigree
any,
for action games.
do you know if it has any
Kinda reminded
ex-platinum
me-
people? Oh.
It reminded me of Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's
Exactly.
it's kind of like a rhythm beat 'em up, isn't it?
I don't know if it's rhythm.
It's not a rhythm one, right? It was just because I had lots of music with it. I
Yeah.
maybe misinterpreted.
But I was saying, yeah, to that vein, and like there probably were some even Capcom people there, but platinum, with some of their previous games, like I was trying to remember the names of them, but yeah.
But this is a brand new studio. And it's from a lot of people who made Devil May Cry. I was like, when I heard the caliber as well, I was like, okay, yep, I'm interested. Sign me up. The other one that I had that hasn't been listed yet is Coven of the Chicken Foot.
Yes,
yeah,
thank
that
you.
did look
Shout
cool.
out to Bruce Straley.
I really
Oh.
liked when the grandma, when they put the hat on the grandma and she's running around with this big hat she can't see. I was like, this is cute. It's going to make me cry. I think this might be pretty good, actually. So I noted that as
write that
well.
one down. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't mean platinum. I was thinking of Grasshopper. And I think it was actually because of that game. There was a Lollipop Chainsaw. That's what I was trying to remember. It had visually, if you don't remember Lollipop Chainsaw, but No More Heroes and those folks, but
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, that's a good call. I'm very much looking forward to Coven of the Chicken Foot. It's early on indie game, but Bruce Straley, actually he just did an interview with Greg Miller over at Kind of Funny. Definitely check it out. We didn't get to talk about it, but all this AI stuff was in that conversation too because of Larian, and maybe we'll see how that settles over the holidays. But a great interview with him about the game and indie development. You should check it out. But Bruce is awesome. But from Last of Us, right? Jack and Daxter, Naughty Dog, like co-headed, co-leaded, co-created, all that stuff.
Yep.
And get my picks real fast.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, so I'll actually leave the one that I was most excited about for the end. So you guys already know what it is, so don't spoil it. No Law, I would point out from Neon Giant, I think is who it is. That was the game that kind of looked like cyberpunky meets Far Cry meets like just intense, first person shoot, but kind of almost a different cyberpunk that tied us over in the meantime, just kicking someone in the chest in first person off a building and jumping down on them, and it made me want to see them do you remember when they redid the Dread movies? I was like, oh, I'd like to see them do a game in this style based on that. Looks absolutely dope. We'll see. Of course, Fate of the Old Republic. That was just a long time coming. I mean, if you don't like that, you just don't like Star Wars or any of those types of games, I guess. Huge shout out to, we knew it was coming, but I loved the Leon reveal, for Resident Evil. Just seeing him come in with his almost the same haircut, a little more haggard, but I think he skids in on the motorcycle. It's like, Leon, are you there? I love Resident Evil. It's always been cheesy, but it's been cheesy awesome. And then it ends with his roundhouse and the chainsaw. I was just excited. Those are the type of reveals I get very into, but it was awesome to hear that it's do you remember the lead character's names, Watts? Anyway, the lead character, the girl, but she's going to be, maybe that's Grace. Grace will be the main, Resident Evil experience and a little just the classic. But then Leon, they're just going to give him all the action stuff, I guess. And I'm like, that is a great way to do it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Just go ham and roundhouse someone and grab a chainsaw. 1000% pod racer, and that's some X Criterion and Need for Speed folks, by the way. Burnout,
Need for
Speed, EA. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited to see what they're doing. When I saw it, it reminded me of it's kind of inspired by Wipeout, but I can kind of see some of the Need for Speed and Burnout inspirations. But build these amazing pod races and just mess stuff up and make a new one or something. I don't know. But of course, lastly, Control Resident. I think Watts already watched me do this reaction several times on my stream. I'm so excited for Control Resident, but I just wanted to share. One, I'm just excited for the game, but literally, I haven't felt this way at a reveal. For me, it's I would have liked to see this at the end. I know you want to put a new game at the end, something you've never heard of. And well, look at what we did with that. But I gotta say, if you have not watched it or you didn't even pay close attention, the reveal production value and the art
It was
of
very
like,
good.
dropping in, the hiss from the ceiling and real, a real actor, and then the background on the big screen, it's Jesse like trying to control his mind and all the stuff they do. So incredible. But it made me feel like I was at an E3 press conference where you literally like people would like I'm getting it now actually. You get like tingles. I love games that much. This game made me feel that way, but then the trailer kicks in and you discover it's more than just like a control reveal. It's like action RPG, like you're getting outside the building with like melee weapons. And the way they cut this trailer, I just gotta tell you, it is so good. But a couple moments stood out of like the first one, once you get into it, where it's her brother, and I forget, it's just that metal melee object, and I think it's that first reveal that it's gonna potentially be Myelin. And he like chucks it down off camera, and that's when it sort of reveals this other world of madness, and just the way they cut it is like as good as the lightsaber at the end of Fate of the Old Republic. The moment, the sound, and then they go a step further where like in the midst of all of it, once it gets into the real melee, it kicks into this like Akira, like almost those like stick drums and like echoey. Anyway, I could geek out forever, as you can tell, but that one literally I'm so excited for. So I hope that the gameplay delivers, right? But looking at it, and I was so excited. And I'm a Remedy fanboy,
It
obviously.
looks very, very good.
But that one, beyond all the rest. If I had to pick my top two out of those that I named, it'd be Control and then probably No Law. So anyway, it was exciting, man.
Yeah, I actually really thought, like, trailer-wise, like, the games that are coming, it was one of the most exciting Game Awards I've ever watched. Like,
Yeah.
I was
Interesting.
I was really looking forward to a lot of stuff. It was also the most disgusting Game Awards I ever watched.
It
Which
definitely was
True.
the most disgusting for
May
sure.
have some correlation to why I enjoyed it so much, because I do like some gore. I do enjoy it.
It was some goal.
Yeah. Should we wrap this one up, guys?
I think so.
All right. Thank you all for
Well,
joining
happy
us.
holidays.
We will not be back next week. I
Not.
think maybe it'll be 2 weeks actually that we skip.
Could be as much, but we'll see. Yeah, it's New Year's Day for the
Year's?
next one. We gotta see probably how we're feeling, who's here, but
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that behind the scenes. Maybe we will do it. I'm not sure. But have a wonderful and safe holiday.
Yes,
Enjoy
please do.
your family. Enjoy your time off, whatever you're doing. And we'll see you when we get back.
thank you all for the support.
Bye.
Happy
Have a
holidays.
good holiday, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.